My eBay customers today are basically borderline sending me to therapy. So I decided to make a video for any of you guys that are interested in starting your own e-commerce business. I'm gonna share with you some of the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly. What I like to call the dark sides of any e-commerce platform. Oh, but then that's the good part. You hear that? The cha-ching? That's what keeps me going. So I guess first off, I'll do a little introduction. Basically, I've been doing this for a little over 2 years, so just under 3 years. I use about 6 different platforms, minimum. I have different accounts, I sell different things, pretty much anything. I don't make an actual item to sell. It's mainly reselling items. But for people who make items or people just resell items as well, now on Etsy, there's eBay, Poshmark, MERCARI, the list goes on. I will say though that for me personally, I make the most money on eBay and it's my favorite platform. In my first year on eBay, I guess it was hard work and luck, but I was able to make about $6,000 1 month. And a year later, that more than 3x'd. And to be honest, I would say it is a combination of luck and extreme hard work. It's not like I have a full-time job to attend to or anything like that and I don't have kids. So I already have a lot of time to put into this. But I am one of those people with like so many hobbies that I have literally like 8 different social media platforms. And I attend to those too. I would say that throughout a week, I work on this every single day. So I basically list new items every single day. Like even if I made plans to hang out with friends, I will make sure that I spend at least like 30 minutes to 1 hour listing. I literally will line up for Disneyland and I'm in a lineup for a roller coaster and I will be listing. If I'm not going out, you can bet that I will probably be listing at least 4 to 6 hours. It's definitely one of those things where you're like kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I feel like if you don't like repetitive work, you will hate it. But honestly, I actually really like it because I do so many different things. Like I'm doing social media and I'm doing sponsorships and then I'm trading stocks, that almost doing something repetitive, like taking pictures of items, to me is amazing. Like it's like a break, a reset for my mind. And this is just a random tip, like it works for me. But anyways, I have 2 cell phones. So I have different accounts on different cell phones and I'm just like taking pictures all day long on different phones. I think having 2 phones really just helps me multitask and be able to like run all these different accounts and do these different things that I do, including e-commerce. It's really interesting that when you start your own business, you're going to realize that, well, I guess I realized this because I also do social media, that there are kind people everywhere and there's also really mean people everywhere too. And you will find the best of the best on these platforms that resell things. And you'll also find the worst of the worst. So for example, today, a classic actually, but this one was just a little extra ridiculous. Sometimes I feel like it's definitely just competitors doing certain things, saying certain things, and just like kind of harassing you. Other times people are just not nice, or they're just trying to mess with you. So for example, I could list an item for $80 and you will have someone message you and be like, oh, will you be accepting any lower offers? And I will be like, yeah, great, just shoot me your best offer. And then they will say something like this, and this actually happened today. They'll be like, oh, I saw this exact item for like $2. And I'm just like, okay, go and buy it for $2 then. Like, why are you talking to me? Actually, I didn't say all of that, but you can block people, by the way. You can block people, thank God, on a lot of these different platforms. And when you block them, they can't message you anymore. They can't buy your stuff. They just cannot bother you. Thank God. But yeah, that's like one version of a troll, basically. Like someone that just wants your items for super, super cheap. And they say that they see it elsewhere for really cheap. But then it's like, bro, just go and buy it somewhere else. And then there are the folks who will literally just pick apart your stuff for no reason. They'll be like, oh, why is this item, why does it look so different from one picture to another? Can you do this and that for me? And then they don't end up buying it. But there'll be a lot of people who just like waste a lot of your time. So you can pick and choose your battles and decide if you think it's worth it, because people have ratings on eBay, for example. So you could see if that person's just like a new account, literally trolling you, wasting your time. And then other times people are just picky, but they will end up buying the product. Hopefully they don't leave you a bad review afterwards, because that also happens. And remember, when you have your own store, it's not just about, well, I used to think it's just about taking pictures and then writing descriptions and you're good to go, right? Just ship the item. No. There is kind of like one of my least favorite things when you're dealing with people who you don't like, but it's also really, really rewarding when you're dealing with the really kind folks on the internet, which also exists. It's customer service. Even though eBay is not actually like a social network, there are a lot of people who are just there to like clearly socialize. Like they just want to talk to you, and you could tell that like they'll no longer want to buy your items, or they'll like most likely leave a bad review if you just don't really talk to them. Like your BFFs when you're not, because it's like very transactional. So yeah, I had people like leave bad reviews just because they felt like I wasn't as responsive, even though I'm like doing 100 shipments. And I'm kind of used to it because I do social media, so it's like my face is out there and I have so many videos, so people just like naturally maybe don't like you, and they just want to be mean, so they'll say really mean things, which is funny because like people don't know what you look like on eBay, or like most people like on these e-commerce platforms like don't show their faces and stuff and who they are. So it's really weird to me when I also get like mean comments via the DMs, and I'm like, what? But yeah, you have to have like thick skin, I would say, just all around, no matter what you plan on doing, because there will just be people there to be mean, and just think of them as trolls. I would say it's more people attacking like my intellect on like these e-commerce platforms, and then more so people attacking my looks, because my looks are there like on social media. So there'll be people like literally DMing and be like, you're so dumb, why would you sell this thing, why would you like pair this with this, and like that's just such a dumb thing to do, you're stupid. Or they're just mad because like I'm selling an item, maybe they're selling it too, I don't know, right? Like there could be people who are just competitors. There will also be people who try to like lowball you and come up with all these crazy stories on being like why you need to give them this item on like a massive discount, basically free. And some people will actually be like, hey, can you give me this item for free? And I'll be like, no. But there are really, really nice and cool people on the internet too. Like I've had experiences where people like sent me gifts, like people I have never met before. We're just like, I'm a seller and then they're a buyer, and they're just happy with what they buy from me, that they know where to send it to, because like I have a PO box and stuff, and they are there to just send me gifts. Super nice people. And this other instance, I remember it was like around Christmas time, somebody actually tipped me. Oh yeah, like where they were like, I'm so happy with your service and customer service and everything, like I want to tip you. And they literally will do things like, oh, can you list an item and I'm just gonna buy it for like X amount, $200 or whatever. So that is out there too. So yeah, I feel like just with anything out there, like on the internet and just doing business, working any job really, I feel like you just have your good days and your bad days, because especially like selling items online, you are customer service, you are the person, you are like the person doing the marketing, you're doing everything. And somewhere along the way, besides the actual like shipping part, because I feel like that's pretty standard, but there's just always going to be really good days where everything's running smooth, and then really bad days, and some days where you just get a bunch of returns. Like a lot of people just dislike the stuff, or they want to exchange it, or they're like, oh, it's the wrong size. And it really, really does suck when like I'm paying for an item to be shipped to a buyer, and the buyer then, you know, let's say tries on the item, uses it for like 20 days, and then they return it back to me and say, oh, don't like it actually, and then I'm paying for, like, I'm eating the shipping costs. That actually has happened. But overall, I absolutely love it. I like having my own business. I like being a reseller. I like dealing with very kind people so much that it's worth it more so than dealing with the bad apples out there. And the money is definitely worth it. And I personally really enjoy things where kind of there's no ceiling. You just work really, really hard and do the best you can. And the more work you put into it, like the more listings that I put in, and then the more people that are following my store and know about my store, the more rewarding it gets. And I know, like before you start anything, especially something like this, people are going to tell you like it's super saturated. There's so many stores out there, like you're most likely not going to make it. And that's kind of true with everything. Same thing with social media. But hey, if I could do it, I think you can too. And I think the most beautiful thing about it is that you could do it full time, you could do it part time. I could just stop anytime and just start spending less than an hour a week on it, and it would still flow. So anyways, I hope you found that helpful, and I wish you luck on whatever it is that you plan on starting. I highly recommend it for any household, honestly, especially when you have like maybe used clothes and things that you don't want anymore. It's really good to recycle it by selling it instead of just tossing it out in the trash. Good luck and take care.